Just a little heads up, in the future, possibly the middle of the month or the end of the month, August, uh, you might not see a lot of me um, putting out fresh new videos. Okay, so um, I don't want you to be alarmed. It's going to be a difficult situation for me, but I intend to return full force at some point. It could take a few months. Hopefully, it's not going to be more than 1 month, but it could go 3 months or more, something like that. So, um, I hate it because it wrecks the continuity. And I hope during that time people don't get unsubscribed and then never really find out again. That's liable to happen because YouTube, I believe, intentionally is destroying our connections little by little, and I can't keep track of everybody. I don't even know everyone who subscribes unless you write to me. I can't. I have a little notebook where I, keep a list, but it's hard for me to keep up especially when it's in the thousands. And well, look, everything should be all right. You can always watch my old videos, and they're not old because things that I say could apply whenever. Today I want to talk about Fukushima because the key thing, other than getting, extremely alarmed, because I have a tendency to, I'm not going to say that I'm paranoid or freaking out. I don't do that. But I need to really have a balance in my mind of how bad this is versus, how we can handle it. If it's like off the scales, beyond imagination, like a total nightmare forever, that's pretty extreme. And I'm not saying that. I'm not getting there yet because, and some people are like, well, what do you mean you're denying that there's anything happening? I never, I never deny it. I know there's something. I just have to know. The Gulf of Mexico went through this BP crisis, all right, which there's a lot of signs that it was just chemical warfare, chemical biological warfare against the ecosystem and against the people that were living there. There's almost no evidence of that it was just oil. I think this is a way to sell a lot of chemicals, pump them out there. The ecosystem is ruined, destroyed. I don't know if it's decimated. I don't know if creatures can live out there. The chemical, the pollutants, the hellish nightmare of what these animals have to live in, it's actually below the surface. So when you look at the top, there's no sheen of oil because one of the things that they say Corexit was doing was emulsifying the oil so it would drop and sink, and that it wouldn't be able to collect together as oil and water don't mix and then come to the surface as a slick, a sheen and a slick. It just suspends it but drops it down. So if no one can see that, no one can go down in there. So that means that there could be like this whole like gooey, polluted, toxic center with water around it. So we're just saying, oh, water in the center, but on the inside it's just rotting and seething death that you can't see. So chemicals, why did they do this? Why aren't they emitting it? Okay, well, obviously they're trying to kill us. Not to sound paranoid, but you know what they say, folks, when you start waking up. Because it's okay to be paranoid. Because they are trying to kill us. Actually, I messed up. I don't remember. You guys know the statement that I'm talking about with paranoia. In Fukushima, I want to say this. There's practical things you can do. You can test your hair, and supposedly it's inexpensive and it's a simple test. I don't have the test yet. I haven't done it. But you can be sure that I'm going to be taking this a lot more serious if I test it and find that I've got strontium in my body or cesium. What is it? 136, 137, 147. I forget. There's different isotopes of it. But Forget about, all the other elements. It's just the smaller ones, the lighter ones with the lower half-life was cesium, I believe. But I have to get all my elements straight. And the point is, if you could do a hair test, what if you don't have any hair? So I'm kind of glad that I kept my hair because I've got enough to test. So that's the other thing about hair, folks. It's kind of like one of those things. It does have some uses. No, it's got greater uses. I'm being facetious. Fukushima, if it's just a karmic punishment to the Japanese, that remains to be seen, because we're going to have to look at the statistics, the suffering. The Japanese might not want the public to know that, because as you can see, for more than 2 years they've been lying. Now, I'm a father. Of course, I'm concerned because you've got innocent souls, you've got children that don't have any choice. They can't defend against it. And they're also known to be susceptible. They're more sensitive to things happening because as the body develops for 15 years, almost 20 years, in some cases, if it's slow development after adolescence, you're talking about really messing up the system. You could get a mutation that people may not be able to reproduce or something like that. And when they try it, they'll create a soul with a physical body that's mutated. And if you want to get disturbed, like I have, do a search on Google, or if you want to watch the videos, put in Chernobyl, either mutations or Chernobyl birth defects. This is not a joke, okay? I'm so glad that my kids are healthy. I don't forget that, trust me. I'm not this kind of a person that's unappreciative or unaware. I know that beautiful, healthy, happy, relatively obedient, behaved. Actually, no, not too well behaved, but I'm working on it. And all of these things, they're not throwing themselves against the wall with 3 arms and part of a leg and can't form a sentence, and you gotta. I can't imagine what a parental nightmare that would be, because you're aware of it, and what can you do? God, I can't even believe what kind of videos I'll be making at that point. So here's the thing. What is it? Does it have to hit home? Do I have to lose, my left hand? What has to happen to where someone says, this is serious, please help? I'm already saying that. On behalf of everybody else, on behalf of the potential nightmare that we're going to be seeing. Chernobyl's fatality rate did not start to skyrocket until really conclusively 5 years afterwards. So you're talking about 1991. And this is not as widespread of a disaster. It didn't contaminate an ocean and spread everything out. There was winds, so we're talking about Eastern Europe. I don't know where else they studied the effects driftings, because you're carrying it by air, sometimes by water, sometimes just the rays coming out, however they can travel through land areas. So that's what we're talking about. All the particles come out and shoot out gamma rays and different kind of rays from the particle. That it's emitting energy. That's basically what radiation is. I should do a whole video on the physics of it, what is actually going on, and why it's going to hurt the body if you don't do something about it. Second of all, I should tell you about the ways you can defend yourself, the ways you can heal, which I don't know, but I have faith that there is a way to heal. The first step before we get into all that is to get a hair test, and I'm going to find out more about that. You could beat me to the punch, do your own research, and find out. A little bit of silence would be nice. You order a test. Like I said, maybe it's $5, $10, $20, but listen, your life could depend on it. Find out as quickly as you can. Don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Especially if you're on the West Coast, Canada. United States. I don't know. Mexico, I'm not sure. I don't, because of the way the jet stream is. Probably, at least northern Mexico. Hey, we're looking at widespread. This is bad. But the only way to find out is if you willingly test yourself, then talk to me, because the word can get around. People can say, hey, a couple of Mysteries viewers are saying that they did it, and they're positive with radioactive particles in their body showing up. What are they going to do before they get sick? Because you could get sick within 1 to 2 years, or as I said, up to 5 years, you start to drop out. The body, for some reason, that's the time limit to tolerating the radiation in your body. As far as what we found from Chernobyl. So this is a new area of research. It's pretty gruesome. It's back to the Nazis, back to the Japanese. And by the way, thanks. A viewer told me on my other video that this is the karma for the Japanese, and directly pointed at Unit 731. I think I got the number right. The Japanese torture chamber on prisoners of war and any... I don't want to have bickering. That's off the subject, off the camera. I don't want to have that. If you want, go back to the playground. Unit 731 did horrific crimes on people. Makes me want to cry. It's just as bad as the overly saturation of all the the Nazi concentration camps, like I forgot, Auschwitz and so on and so forth. I was deeply touched, and now that I keep hearing about it, I don't want to hear about that more, because there's other things, and like this. So I want to thank my viewer, my contact, for letting us know, and I looked at it, but I'm a little bit unconvinced that it's just because of Unit 731. The Chinese were complaining that the Japanese... Okay, no. I gotta stop you because of the people. Go to the playground now. I will lose viewers because of you. Don't do that. In the northern part of China, which is called Manchuria, and I believe at the town Harbin, so look on the map, that was where this facility was located. You're talking about thousands of people that were tortured. They were cut open alive. Experiments were done just to find out what reactions would they have to being killed, and this was being documented. And it's as bad as the Nazi experiments, and names like Mengele come up to mind, or the what was it, the butcher of I forget that name, sorry, but they later caught up with some of these people. Apparently what's sad is the Chinese are complaining that these Japanese in the department of this prison, Unit 731, were never punished. So they're still calling for justice right now. Is Fukushima the justice? I don't know, but I'm mentioning it because it's a way of comparing things and trying to make sense out of why these things happen. So we do need to do this kind of analysis and questioning. I want to ask that viewer, because he knows, and I want to ask all my viewers, whether you're a mainstream person that just sailed in here, and who is this guy and the way he talks. Well, I want to ask you, when's the United States karma going to come due? Because of how many things that they've been doing. I will sit here for an hour listing out the crimes that have not been punished. Thank you very much. So let me know with a comment. I appreciate you listening. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.